Welcome to episode 118 of Curio. This week we'll be talking about the lucid dreaming community and how you can phase between dimensions in your sleep. Lucid dreaming.
Dreamy. Yeah. What do you, have you ever had a lucid dream, Tom?
Kind of. Like, my understanding of lucid dreams is that it's when you're dreaming and you know it's a dream.
Yeah, I think that's the basic. That's the basic definition of it. And is you just are aware suddenly that it's a dream. Yeah,
and people try to force themselves into lucid dreams so they can like have fun and do whatever they want. I guess that's what I remember as a kid, learning about, or a teenager, learning about it. That there's techniques to get yourself into a lucid dream and trying it so you can like do what you want. But most of the time, once I realize it's a dream, I end up waking up.
Yeah, that's the trouble of it. So like in its most basic form, most people have had a dream where you realize it's a dream.
Yeah.
But like you say, it's normally very split second and then you're awake. That's why I started thinking, I thought about it before in the past, but the other day I had a really like vivid, like accidental one like that. I said this earlier as well. I'm not gonna. There's nothing more boring than hearing other people's dreams, are there? Sometimes. So
yeah, If people are real quick with it, and people are just I had this mad dream where like you were sucking off George, and like, and I don't know, like there was a volcano or something. It was mental, but whatever. Like if that's it. But when people start going into like details, and like because they most of the time do not make sense. They'll be like, so like you were there, but you wasn't actually you. You were like a different kind of you. And like I knew you, but not really. And I was wearing shorts, but but my legs weren't mine.
Well, I'm gonna have to talk about a dream a little bit to obviously explain why I was thinking about this. But again, I'll be brief. I never really remember my dreams that much either. No, I think it's probably to do with getting high.
I think any time you don't have like if you don't go into like deep sleep a lot, which if you smoke a lot, then your sleep quality isn't as deep, so you won't remember your dreams as much.
Yeah. For the record, I don't really smoke anymore. It's more of more of an edible thing. Or
consume,
or vape, consume, And I don't do it before. I try not to get high like late at night. For that reason, because I want a bit of sleep. I prefer to do it on a day off, early in the morning. Anyway,
but do you? So if you go, I don't know how often you do get high, but if you go like a few days or even a week, or you have like a little detox time, do you start remembering your dreams more?
Yeah. Well, I remember like when I was younger and we were getting high all the time, and I think it was like maybe it was exams or something. There was some period of time I decided, it's best to lay off for a bit. And this guy we knew, was like this old, it's a bit about older than us, used to hang out with us. And he was like, he was a big smoker as well. That's why he used to hang out with us, I guess. But he said to me, he was like, if the dreams get too much for you, man, then you can do this. And I can't remember what else. He was like proper dead serious as well. He was a bit paranoid. I can't remember what his advice was if the dreams got too much for me, but I just remember that thing and just thinking, I'll be all right. Like it's okay. If the dreams get too much, man, you can try this. But yeah, dreams. I remember that at a time that I did start dreaming again. But I didn't know whether I was just dreaming more, or just remembering them more, because it just kind of wasn't so fuzzy in life. But either way. But yeah, I tend to not remember much. Gina remembers her dreams in like vivid detail, and she'll explain them to me, and I'll do the same thing. I'm like kind of switching off, like, I'm sorry, but like this, it's just a weird thing you're telling me about. Anyway, but I just, I was having a weird dream, and I was like getting chased by like police or sort of a police entity, that sort of thing. Pretty standard, but I was like on top of a bus. These are not pretty standard.
I don't have dreams that I'm getting chased by the police. Like maybe some kind of chasing dream, but it's usually like a ghost or like some, like horrible thing.
Yeah, getting chased is fairly common, isn't it? I haven't had loads of dreams getting chased by the police, but it's fairly common to dream getting like chased by something. Sometimes the police. I've Googled it since. But yeah, I was running away, and I was sort of like riding a bus, getting chased, and then like this bus fell over, and I was in a big wide field, and then it was like there was like this acceptance, that I'm about to get caught. I could see him. I was surrounded but like quite far away. I was surrounded. I could see there was police over by that exit. They were over by that exit, and I was like, well, I'm done for. And I remember like feeling like really, when it feels proper real, and it was like I don't want to get caught by the police. It's gonna suck. Like I don't want to go to prison. And then I like realized I was in a dream at that point, and was like, oh yeah, fuck. Oh, I can just wake up, and I'll be all right.
Yeah.
And as I realized that, it was like all the police looked at me.
Whoa.
All at once, looked at me. And then it was like,
a Doctor
fuck.
Who episode.
Yeah. And then they all started like running towards me. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I like started to wake up. And then I like woke up actually did wake up. But then sort of, when you wake up and you fall back to sleep. I then like fell back to sleep, and then I was straight back in the dream. And it was like, and they were closer to me by this point, like the dream had carried on. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then I managed to wake up and felt like, oh, that was horrible. So,
was that a dream that you had before?
No, nothing like that before.
The few times I have lucid dreamt are times where it's a reoccurring dream. So I'm in the dream, and then I think, this has happened before. And then I remember, oh yeah, it happened in a dream. I must be in a dream. Because
it's interesting, yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to have this reoccurring dream all the time, and eventually I figured it out. I'd be upstairs playing in my room with a bunch of kids, all my mates, and then we'd hear like footsteps coming up the stairs, and we all went, fuck, like it's the man, he's going to come and get us. And that was like, it was like a shadow figure, and we'd all hide, and it was in my bedroom, like the same bedroom as a kid, and we'd all hide either behind the curtains, under the bed, and I'd pick a different spot every time. And sometimes he would come in and he'd get me, and the dream would end as he got me. I'd be like, oh. Sometimes he wouldn't get me, he'd go for a different spot, and I'm like, I picked a good spot this time, and he's got someone else. But eventually I started realizing it was a dream, and I would think to myself, oh, I need to wake up. And the only two ways I could wake myself up, one of them was rubbing my eyes. So in the dream, I would start rubbing my eyes, and I would wake up actually rubbing my eyes, and that would get me awake. Or I'd have to kill myself. And that was the only other way. So I would jump out the window. Like I'd be like, I need to die in my dream to wake up. So I would.
And would you hit the floor, or would it be before you die? You'd sort of jolt awake.
I'd wake up like, when you wake up falling, like you'd fall in your dream. So it'd be like that. So I'd jump out, and it's only like a 1-story bedroom. So I probably wouldn't have died. But in my dream, like I'd jump out the window and go, and then I wake up falling. And they would have, and similar to you, if I went back to sleep, I would sometimes go back into that dream. And the only way to get out of it was to like get up and go to the toilet, or I'd put my pillow at the other side of the bed, and that would stop it.
yeah.
That's my dream talk for the episode.
Well, there's a Bruce Springsteen song lyric actually. That's, if you die in your dreams, they say if you die in your dreams, you really die in your bed. Last night I dreamed honey miles rolled straight back in my head. So apparently you're not supposed to actually die physically in your dream. But then Gina says she's died in her dreams all the time and like carried on in the dream.
Oh, like respawned.
Whereas I never actually managed to die. I never managed to fish. It's always I'm about to die and then I wake up.
Yeah, I wake up it's almost like I die in my dream and then come back alive in real life. Like it's transition. Like I never actually experienced the death.
It's because we're leaving the dream reality. Coming back.
Transcending.
Yeah. Well, I'll get to that anyway. But so just maybe look it up, like what's going on with that. And as soon as I searched like police in the dream, this idea of like the dream police come up.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is a big thing in the lucid dreaming. I can say society then, that's not the word. What would you call
community?
Community, yeah. Society. That's like at university, you'd have the lucid dream society.
There probably is at some uni.
Yeah, there's bound to be. There's people that that obviously you can practice lucid dreaming, like you said. You can learn to do it and kind of get into it because it can be obviously good laugh. It can be fun to just do whatever fuck you want. There's loads of different reasons people do it. Sometimes people do it. They say it's a good thing if you have like horrific nightmares. some people will train people to lucid dream, because you can then, if you realize you're in a dream, it's not so scary. You can, what's the word? Like get out, like do something else to get out of it. You can like leave the room, or just like fuck this creature up.
Yeah. And it's not as horrific if it's fiction.
If it's a dream.
Oh, this isn't real. Yeah.
This isn't real. This is fine. So yeah, like you said, there was a couple of different methods. And I just thought I'm going to give it a go. So I started looking it up. I thought, if I've done it by accident, and it was kind of cool, like as it was kind of freaky and weird. I thought, no, I want to give it a go. So the most common ones that most people know about are like, what's the phrase? You said it earlier. They call it reality testing. So
I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't say that.
I've never heard of that.
Okay, yeah. So like you do a thing in when you're awake.
I said this to you the other day, yeah.
Yeah. So like a common, you pinch yourself, and you have to do it like all the time in the day, like throughout the day. Or there's one, a lot of people say you push you try and push your hand, your finger through your hand.
Yeah, that's the one that I tried when I was trying to lucid dream as a teenager.
Or other people say count your fingers is another one. Because they reckon in your dreams you can't count your fingers, or
your dream is like AI. It gets the wrong amount of fingers all the time.
Yeah,
like AI image generation.
So I listen, a few things I've read and listened to, they sort of concluded, well, that's kind of flawed, because quite often you can have a dream. So the idea is you then in your dream, you try and do one of these things. You pinch yourself and you can't feel it. So you're like, oh, fuck, I must be in a dream. And then that's how you realize you're in a dream. Or you got to push your finger through your hand and you can. And you're like, well, that's weird. So I must be in a dream. But especially with that one, a lot of people say, well, sometimes you just can't do that in your dream.
Yeah, like sometimes...
You won't necessarily be weird and be able to put your finger through it. Like sometimes the same thing happens, or...
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily make you think you're in a dream. Apparently one of the most successful things with people, they did like studies on it, blind studied people, and people that had never tried it, people that have tried it, And one of the things that was more successful was, I can't remember what they call the method, but it's basically, it's like saying, you say a mantra.
Okay.
And again, it helps if you say this a lot throughout the day, so you kind of remember it. Or the method I heard was, if you wake up in the night, or you physically force yourself to wake up in the night after about 5 hours, because that's when you're most likely to be in REM sleep.
Right.
And then, you're most likely to get straight back into a dream kind of thing.
Okay.
But I thought, I don't want to be doing that. I want to be setting up.
No, I don't want to force myself. Give myself a poor night's sleep just in case I get to have a cool dream.
Yeah. But I generally wake up needing the toilet, to be honest. Okay. Like most nights I wake up needing the wee. And I tend to fall back into a dream, and that's kind of ones I remember. So I thought, I'm just going to see when that happens. And then at that point, I'm going to start saying the mantra in my head. And it's the next time I'm dreaming, I will remember that I'm dreaming.
Okay, that's the mantra you're supposed to say.
That's the mantra you're supposed to say. Yeah. So or especially like when you wake up in the night, you then fall asleep, kind of saying that. The next time I'm dreaming, I remember I'm dreaming. The next time I'm dreaming, I remember I'm dreaming. Next time. And then I pretty much straight away had a lucid dream, which seems super unlikely.
Yeah.
And I'm still not sure whether like I really did have a lucid dream, or because I was thinking about lucid dreaming so much, I just dreamt about lucid
dreaming.
Which is,
but what's the difference then?
Well, yeah, exactly. What is the difference? Like it felt like I did have some level of control, but I didn't have maybe like as much control. But then apparently, that comes with practice. Yeah. You really got to practice it to get more control. Like
because my theory that I've just come up with now is that no one is truly lucid dreaming in the same way that when you have a dream and you just wake up from it, it still feels really real. Like it still feels so realistic. Like you can be dreaming that someone died, someone's cheated on you, you're an astronaut, like whatever it is. When you wake up, there's like a good 20 to 30 seconds sometimes when you still truly believe it.
Experience that
for
emotion.
A little while, it takes a while to wear off. So if you just had a dream that you were lucid dreaming, when you woke up, you were so convinced that you were actually lucid dreaming
Yeah.
So you think that you have, because when you're in your dreams, you're not really making the decisions, but you feel like you are because you're in that first person perspective. So people are having this idea that they were controlling. Oh, I was having a lucid dream. I was able to control what was going on. But were you like? Would your awake self have made those decisions? Were you just dreaming that you were in control, and then when you woke up, you believed it? You're like, oh yeah, I was lucid dreaming. But it's no. All that happened is you dreamt that you were in control.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned this to Basey Josh because he's a big. He's done lucid. He spent a little while getting on the old lucid dreaming.
Oh yeah,
and he sort of said, well, it brings up the question now: are we ever in control? Truly, in real life, are we in control of our?
Yeah, maybe when we die, we wake up and we're like, oh, that felt so real. That 75 years.
Yeah. Well, this is a big thing, right? So the more you look into it, there's a whole section of people. There's a section of people that are like, I just control my dreams. It's kind of cool, And there's a whole group of people that are like, we believe in it. I mean, in general, without lucid dreaming, people think that dreams are like an alternate reality. Like you're actually accessing maybe a different sort of spiritual plane or another dimension, or and there's stuff. This is where the whole dream police thing comes into. I'll get to that in a sec. But so when you're like controlling stuff in a dream, you're kind of like not supposed to because it's a dream. So so you can get in trouble for doing.
I feel
stuff
like this is the plot of a film. I feel like, is this not in Inception or something?
I think there's probably elements of this in Inception. I can't really remember Inception, but there's probably elements of this.
I think in Inception, it's just that the good guys go into a dream and the bad guys also go into a dream and they're also there. But I swear there's a bit in Inception where it's like, if you mention the fact that it's a dream to the people who are not part of the people who are the fictional dream people, then like everyone looks at you and it's like a...
Oh, does that happen in Inception? Yeah.
I think so. I haven't seen it for so long.
I mean, it's ironic as well because the whole idea of Inception, right, is just like, because people say that a lot in a dream, like when you talk about like the dream community, people say, if you talk to someone and say, am I in a dream? Firstly, they'll try and convince you that you're not.
Okay.
And sometimes people, if you do something, if you start lucid dreaming, start fucking with shit, like if you go, I'm just going to start like doing some mad stuff because I'm in a dream, like just throwing stuff around, smashing people up and that.
Seas.
Yeah, everyone looks at you. Or you say, I'm in a dream. I know I'm in a dream. Everyone like looks at you. But if that is an Inception, it's funny because I see some other like counter, these are all the people like, oh, because you're not supposed to know you're in a dream. And people look at you and it's, or if you ask someone, you're not supposed to ask people the time in a dream, apparently, because they all apparently everyone looks at you if you ask them the time. Like,
there is no time in the dream world.
Why are you asking that? But then a lot of people say, well, but they're so commonly in the discourse now that does happen to people in dreams.
Have we just made that a thing by coming up with these rules?
Like, because maybe it happened to someone once by coincidence, or just whatever, some weird happenstance made that happen in their dream. But now you're expecting that shit, so it happens. I didn't really do much. Like, I sort of woke up. In the dream, I was kind of just instantly in bed and then just sort of did all the real, I had a real basic fucking lucid dream if I did have one. I like just had sex with Gina. She was just like there and I was like, I'm just going to do that. And then I tried to fly. I remember being like, I just sort of like was suddenly out in the street and I did like the most rough. I thought I really want to fly because that's other thing people do in dreams.
Yeah.
But again, it's so planted in my head that like it could have just been a regular old dream and dreaming about lucid dreaming.
Yeah, it was it's like the first example you think of where it's like, oh, if you were in a dream and you could control everything and do what you want,
you would fly. Yeah, and it's a common one.
I'd fly and then I'd control things with my mind, and that's kind of
it. Most people kind of fly because like, why would you not want to fly?
Yeah.
But I was just sort of lying horizontally and then just like dragging myself along the floor and like slowly trying to like speed up and just not going that fast, just sort of like
you just kind of levitating.
Yeah, just like flat and like trying to sort of do this. Like imagine, did you ever like lie on a skateboard when you were a kid and like push your arms along? I was kind of doing that without the skateboard, and it was just, I remember thinking, that's just kind of knackering and not that fun. Like, and then I did that thing where, this is pretty common, you know, you wake up from the dream, but you don't really, which is like an Inception kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dream within a dream. I thought I did that. I woke up and it felt like super real that I was in my room. And then something weird happened, and I really did wake up.
I've had that a few times, yeah.
Yeah. And I like nudged Gina. I was like, "Cool, mad, fuck." And she was, "What the fuck?" I was like, I just had a lucid dream. She was like, "Fuck off." Because I'd been like snoring and shit as well, I think. And just like, she's like, the next time she's like, "You fucking woke me up to tell me that. You mad? You'd already been pissing me off all night." Yeah, so people say that like, don't ask people the time or the date, apparently, you know. And then, so people reckon this is like evidence that when you're in a dream, you can time travel, and you're really time traveling to another dimension. In real, like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So you're using other dimensions and you're time traveling through. That's why you can't ask people that what time or date it is, because then the dream police come for you. So a lot of people talk about this entity. There's like an entity that may or may not be. Sometimes they're like a Men in Black type figure. Yeah. Sometimes they're just straight up the police. Some people say that they've caught them because they were fucking about in a dream and doing shit to people that they shouldn't have been, and knew they were in a dream and larking about. And then the dream police come get them, put them in dream jail. And the only way they could get out, and like they couldn't wake up, you know, they were trying to wake up, and eventually they had to escape this like jail before they could even wake up, and said it was horrible, said it felt really weird. Because they're in the dream, you're in this other dimension, you're not supposed to be.
Yeah, I dropped the dream soap.
Yeah. But there's other people talk about, like, I see one account where they encountered someone else.
Oh,
who
who
said they were in a dream. Yeah, they were like, "I'm in a dream," and they were like, they sort of saw him. They were in like a sort of mall, you know. Like
what are you in for? Dream.
Yeah, no, yeah. No, they were in like a supermarket, and they were doing weird shit, and everyone else that's very obviously sort of like NPC, like you know, like characters. And but they spotted one person who really stood out, and they were very much like doing shit like them, and they were like, "Do you know you're in a dream?" And they were like, "No, I'm in a dream. I'm in my dream. What are you fucking on about?" And they were like, "No, this is my dream." And they were like, and then they just hung about and did shit together for the rest of the dream. And then he said, and he woke up.
Oh, see, I would have asked that dream person's like Instagram name or something. So when I woke up, I could like message, were you dreaming last night?
Yeah, I should have done that. But maybe because you're not fully in control enough that you would definitely do that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Let me add you on Instagram.
That's what makes me think like
Dreamagram.
You're not fully in control of these lucid dreams, because you would definitely be like, it'd be like if you bumped into someone you know on holiday or whatever, you'd be like, "Oh, what crazy that you're here as well. Like, let's what's your number?" Like, yeah, you know.
Have I told you that story where that just made me think of that, unrelated to dreams, but related to that? There's these two. I remember like guys we went to school with, both like friends I haven't seen in years now, but it had been years since school, but we were still quite young maybe, but because this was like primary school, and they were up like Snowdon or something with their families.
Okay.
So, probably Snowdon because it's relatively easy to walk up, and they like at the summit saw each other and just like did like a sort of teenage boy thing of just like looked at them and went, "All right." Just nodded. Just nodded like, "Yeah, right." And then their parents like, "What do you mean, all right? Well, you know this person. Like, we're at the top of Snowdon. That's so unlikely." Like, then they weren't over and had a proper chat.
Like so far away from home.
Yeah, they just did like, "What?" Yeah, I know you, right? Yeah. So there's one account that I saw. She speaks a lot about dreams, right? Her name is Under the Capricorn Sun.
Yeah, you sent me a link earlier to one of her TikToks.
Yeah.
It's funny, we were talking about like how boring it is to listen to other people's dreams.
Yeah, that one I sent you was quite boring.
And yeah, it's like, and I think that's a known thing. That's like it's like an established thing that listening to other people's dreams is boring. Yet people have TikTok accounts just talking about their dreams. Like, how much more boring of a TikTok account can you have?
Yeah, that particular one I sent you
talking about your dreams.
I sent it because the title was like Dream Police, and I thought she was going to talk about the Dream Police more.
Oh, right.
But she didn't really. But in another one of her dreams, she speaks about, I mean, if this is real, like, this is mad, but she could just be making it up. I don't know. But maybe not. She says she has and her mum and her mum's mum have all had this same sort of dream where, like, they'll be at someone's, like, funeral or wake or like it's like their last moments, and they know it's their last moments, and they're with this person, and then they wake up and in real life they die. This person's died perhaps while they're asleep.
Yeah, I heard that, and I think that's got to be bullshit. Like, that can't be true. Like, I can imagine it happened once or even twice, where, like, you have a family member who's maybe not doing too well, and, like, maybe a bit, because people don't just drop down dead, like, often. She said it's happened in this TikTok. She said it's happened over 30 times. How many? Yeah.
Oh, so you must have, because I didn't send you that one. You must have.
No, that was the one.
Played the same autoplay as I did.
No, I only watched one of them. I couldn't watch anymore.
Oh, right. Okay. Like, no, maybe I sent you. Oh, right. I sent you the better one.
Yeah, I don't think you sent me the Dream Police one. You sent me the one that was about.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
And yeah. She said it's happened like 30 plus times.
30 times.
How many people are dying? Like, how many people are you just dreaming about, and then they just happen to die? Like, people don't just drop down dead for no reason. So I bet there's a chance that, like, if you have an elderly family member or a sick family member that's probably gonna die anyway, and then you dream about them dying, or and like you're in your dream, you're saying goodbye, you wake up and they have died. That is plausible. But the fact, like, you're not just dreaming about random healthy, 45-year-old uncles, and then suddenly they're just like dead the next day. Like, that's not happening.
You best stop dreaming.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And she said, like, sometimes it'd be down to the minute. She's like, oh, I was dreaming and I'll wake up and then I get a text or a phone call saying they died last night at 11:49 p.m. And I think that's the minute I had that dream. I don't think so. Like, that's so unbelievable.
Mate,
literally unbelievable.
You never know, though. Science can't explain everything, Tom.
Yeah. My dad and my aunt and my granddad all corroborate this story, that my aunt and my granddad, when she was a kid, so, living at home and everything, her and my granddad had the same dream on the same night. And the reason I know, basically, my aunt comes downstairs in the morning and says to my dad, obviously they're brother and sister, I had a mad dream last night that, like, you were dancing on a piano. Very specific, like, random dream. She's like, yeah, we had a piano in the living room, and then you were just getting up and dancing on it, like tap dancing and stuff. She was like, it was so funny, whatever. She, like, goes in the other room, or she's gone to school, or like, whatever's happened. But my granddad separately says to my dad, I had a mad dream last night that you were dancing on a piano. And apparently they both said it at different times to my dad and hadn't, like, organised this story or whatever. And dad's like, what the fuck, you and, like, sister just had the same dream, like, what the and they all were, like, didn't know how to react to it. That's crazy. And then, like, they say there was nothing to prompt that dream. Like, there was nothing throughout the day before that was about my dad dancing on the piano.
No one was dancing on the piano. Yeah.
No one was dancing piano. So I don't know how true that is. And, like, everyone's got these weird dream stories, and it frustrates me because I'm such a skeptic for like the supernatural and things beyond Earth and whatever, other dimensions, dreams having meanings. Don't believe it, but, like, people always come up to you with these weird stories, like, me and this person had a dream on the same day, and I dreamt this person died, and they did. And I just want to say bullshit to it all, but you can't really, like, because then people that you trust say it, and I'm like, oh, like,
yeah. Well, I know people that say that they think their dreams are like they're accessing past lives.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
and in that moment, like horrific shit happens to them, and they think horrific shit happened to them in a past life, and they're re-experiencing it in that. Or that's when they're like jumping dimensions or whatever, or jumping through lives.
Yeah, I don't believe that. that I don't believe. I do believe that, like, and I think the girl touched on this in her video, that she's dreaming about like traumatic things often, and it's maybe your brain preparing you for something happening in the future. And I think there is like an evolutionary benefit to dreams, that like your brain is almost like thinking through worst case scenarios sometimes. So if you're dreaming that someone has died, or you're dreaming that you're in a car crash, or you're dreaming that someone's chasing you, maybe when it happens in the real world, you're a little bit more like adept at doing it. And I imagine
that's
1,000 years ago, people were dreaming about being chased by animals or chasing animals and fighting other tribes and things like that. And now we're just dreaming about, I don't know, like police
going to Tesco. Yeah. So many of my dreams are so mundane, and you think, why the fuck did I dream that? But yeah, it's just because life's generally mundane.
Yeah. It was funny you said about not remembering your dreams, and then if you don't get high, you remember them. I don't often remember my dreams, and I'm a mouth breather in my sleep. And there's been a lot, you might have seen, there's a lot online about how like mouth breathing is not good for you. You should be nasal breathing. It's a much healthier way to breathe. And I can control that during the day, but in my sleep I can't. So I actually tried some of that mouth tape that you see people going on about, that you tape up your mouth.
Yeah.
First night I tried it, I remembered about 6 or 7 of my dreams in like detail. And I genuinely never remember my dreams. Like maybe once every month I will remember vaguely a dream. And I'm like, oh yeah, I dreamt about that. And then like, but I can't remember any of the details. I woke up, I had a couple dreams that I was suffocating, and I ripped the tape off in the night. And
you really did rip it off, or?
Yeah, I woke up mid ripping it off, and like it hurts because it's got all my moustache hairs and like, you really should be clean shaven to fully like enjoy it. But I stuck with it for like a few nights, and I managed to make it through the night without ripping it off. And I was remembering all my, and the only thing I can put it down to is that I'm sleeping better. Like the sleep quality is better. I'm getting into like full REM, which makes me dream more. And tape up your mouth if you want to get more. If you don't dream, then maybe it's because you're not sleeping well, and you tape up your mouth. And
do you find you can't breathe through your nose properly though? Which is why you're dreaming through your mouth. Which is I'm fairly certain I have, like, you know, like I say, a deviated septum. I don't know. Yeah.
Because you can get those nasal strips that like.
I literally, I've tried some of those. Yeah, I bought some off. Like,
did it work?
You know, you get like drop ship adverts, didn't you? And they're like £30-40 from. You just find them on Amazon for like £8. Yeah, no, they seem to work so far. Gina's been kicking me a lot less in my sleep. She thinks I've been snoring less.
Because what I've noticed is when I get into bed, I'll have my mouth closed and I'm struggling to breathe through my nose. But
I can't really do it.
After about 15 minutes, I can feel that my nose is like, because I just keep my mouth closed, and I can feel that it's easier to breathe through my nose. So I think I'm just going to try the mouth things, and maybe that will like over time widen my nostrils or something. I don't know. But no, I've been remembering my dreams more. I need to.
Interesting.
I got off it, and then I need to get back on.
Maybe I'll get some mouth tape. Maybe the combination of mouth tape and that shit. The nose.
I had to get some.
And lucid dream.
Yeah, I had to get some like skin colored ones because Rosie didn't like that. It was just a big black hole like on my mouth. Yeah, that's kind of like, I'm too scared to look at you in case I like look over and you're just like laying there with like a big open, like in the dark. It just looks like if it's black, it just looks like a big hole in your face. So
yeah,
I got some like flesh colored ones.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing isn't very conducive to like a romantic night's, to bedtime activities happening, is it? You have to really.
Yeah, even just laying there and like chatting before bed, it's like, okay, I need to wait for us to actually like finish our conversation, you to fall asleep, and then I'll put the mouth tape on.
Put my mouth tape on, There was one more thing I wanted to say about You know, we were saying about like whether dreams are, you know, they mean anything. And you get, you know, a lot of people say stuff and you're like skeptical. But when someone who generally is kind of skeptical of stuff says stuff, you sort of a bit like,
Mm-hmm.
And again, I know someone, I won't say their word because it's quite personal. But like, they were having lucid dreams. Or maybe not lucid dreams, but they were having dreams after one of their parents passed away. And it was their parent coming to them in the dream.
Okay.
And it was like, they knew, or they were like, I don't really care if it's real or not, but it feels super real. You know, like whether or not it really is them coming to me in my dream, I don't care. I still like it.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
I like it. There was comfort in it, regardless of whether or not it was like. But it really did feel like, you know, they would come and they would say stuff to him like, "Don't worry, you're gonna be right."
Yeah, I think like everyone's had nice dreams that you're like, oh, I wish I could go back into that one. I was having like a great time because it felt so real. So that's like a next level version of that where it's like, oh, like that is.
Yeah, imagine it happens a fair amount when.
I imagine so.
When you lose someone close to you. But like, yeah, similar to, not similar to that at all, but like you said, a dream that you want to get back into where you wake up and you've won the lottery, you know, or something. For that split second, you're like, and you're, oh, fuck, I haven't, bollocks.
Yeah, it's like, I want to live in that moment of just waking up and still feeling like it's real. I've had that where you wake up and just for a minute, you think you are a millionaire and like you're laying there in your normal... Like you're still in your normal world, like you're in your bedroom now, so you're in the real world, but you still have that like that memory of.
That's where Tinkerbell always loves Peter Pan. That's what she says in Hook. You know, in that moment when you wake up and you're not sure if you're still awake or dreaming. That's where I'll always love you, Peter Pan.
Were Tinkerbell and Peter Pan in a relationship?
Well, in Hook, there's more of an implication of that. So
yeah, so I think I watched Hook. That might be the only Peter Pan film I had that on like video as a kid. I watched it all the time, but I never really watched any of the other Peter Pan.
Excellent, fucking love Hook. Well, even in the Disney one, she's like jealous of Wendy, so they portray her as like she's jealous. She sort of loves Peter, but in Hook, she sort of becomes big, doesn't she? So she can and she kisses him, and he's like, "No, I love my wife," and she's like, "Oh."
Okay.
So I think it's implied throughout that. Tinkerbell loves Peter Pan, but he's like, well, you're a fucking fairy. What am I going to do?
Are there any more lucid dream theories like what that you came across?
Yeah, none, not many more. Obviously,
no credible one.
Yeah, generally speaking, you know, there's the split of, you know, it's just an awesome thing to do. It's fun. You know, it means you can do shit. There's quite a big thing with people that can't. Do as much in real life, perhaps. You know, perhaps they're.
Oh, okay.
I heard an account about a guy who'd broke his legs or broke a leg real bad or something. You know, like so couldn't get out and about. So then just started doing it then, just because he was interested in it and he had more time on his hands. You know.
Yeah.
So I was doing all that. Like, got really into the, you know, the what did I call it? Got it again. Reality testing. Reality testing. You know, there's people that are generally more like, can't do as much. So in the dreams, it just enables them to sort of be a bit more free, and you know, they're not in pain in their dream and they can do shit. Or you get the people that just love it. It's just good crack, you know, lucid dreaming. To the people that are like, dream is an alternate reality. You know, we are accessing another dimension, and I'm using it as a platform to carry out tasks that are important in this other dimension.
Like they have a mission.
Yeah, and it's sort of people that it can cross over into like the psychedelics kind of realm. Yeah, where some people think when you're on, you know, when you have a psychedelic trip, that's another way of accessing these other dimensions.
It certainly does feel like that.
Yeah, which is maybe you unlock reality more. So you can see these other dimensions, and when you're in your head, when you're in a dream, your brain is able to do other things that enables you to access these other dimensions.
Yeah. There are a lot of similarities. Like,
there's like a dog coming in there.
It is like similarities being that it's very hard to describe what it's like to someone who was not there, who was not in your dream, or who was not. Or for someone who hasn't taken psychedelics, describing what it's like to take psychedelics is so difficult, and you sound mental. Like you just sound like, oh man, like things are just different, and like you can like feel music, and like, and like everything just makes sense, and like you go to this other level. Like you can't explain it. And I guess it's the same as in a dream when you're trying to explain.
And the further away you get from it, the harder it is to really remember like what the fuck actually happened. And
in the moment you are like, I understand everything, and like everything that's going on makes full sense. And even the next day you're like, wow, that epiphany that I had, or like just the mindset I was in. And then after a while you're like, I was just high. Like, I was just, like, I wonder what I looked like from the outside if I'd set up a camera and like.
Oh yeah, we've done that before. When we used to fuck around with salvia, which is just like what you ever heard of that?
I've seen videos of people getting fucked up on it.
Crazy. It used to be legal. We used to just buy it from the shop.
Really?
Like from the head shop. Yeah. And like this is the craziest, most thing I've ever experienced in my life. Like,
but it's really, isn't it like really short, like.
Yeah, it's over in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Or 10, 20 seconds. And we had videos of us like just literally like writhing around on the floor. Like, and you obviously when you watch the video back, you're like, I remember what I was doing in the dream there. And it like was not that, you know, like.
And your dream feels like way more than 10 seconds. Like you can.
You can have a whole fucking, like
hour long. It's been like hours, but it's actually been 10 seconds of real life.
Yeah, it's heavy. Which is similar to dreams, I suppose, isn't it? Because like they say that like, it's probably like a matter of seconds, that dream you just had that felt like an hour.
Yeah.
And sometimes that, that's true because if you drift in and out of a dream, like when you wake up in the morning and you go back to, you sort of snooze and then you're like, oh, God, I feel like I'm in a magic. And it's only been 10 minutes maybe that you snooze for. Or...
Yeah. Because your dream is like, all your dream is like a concept. So you can like, you can imagine a concept so quickly. Like if you think of a film that you've seen, like if you think of like Harry Potter, you can almost like go through the plot of Harry Potter in your head in like 3 seconds. Like you can be like, oh, he goes to school, Voldemort's bad guy, he learns some magic, blah, blah, blah. Like what you can go through the whole film or the whole book or whatever, real quick. So like that, what takes 2 hours of a film, you can do in like once you've seen it, you can go in your head. So your brain is essentially just coming up with this story, and it can obviously do that in such a quick,
in an instant
moment.
Yeah. Or you're accessing an alternate reality and time dilation. Yeah. And that's the same reality, the same dimension that you access, or a similar one that you access when you get on the salvia or other.
So imagine you're in your lucid dream world and you're throwing shit around in Tesco, and then you see someone else. You're like, whoa, are you in a dream? And you're like, no, I'm in Amsterdam, man. I'm tripping. And like,
What do you mean a dream? Is this a dream? What the fuck? Yeah.
That would be sick.
That would be sick, yeah. And you meet up in like, or you go over to one guy over there and he's like, and he's tripping. He's like, man, I'm pretty sure someone's like gloving in front of me, but like, there's some mad lights.
Man, if you were a heavy lucid dreamer, leave a comment. I'm not going to read it because it's boring, but Rob might.
I fucking will. Please let us know. I actually had a fucking comment from long-time listener, Turkish Glenn.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't have the phone anymore, do you? I told him to text the phone because I knew I'd forget.
Oh, no. We either need to get a new number or I need to get in contact with Vodafone customer support. Turns out if you don't use a phone number, they just deactivate it. So I had this phone number and I thought, well, it was just a SIM, like it was just a pay-as-you-go SIM. And I just thought, well, I don't need to top it up because it's only going to be to receive, not to send out. And if you get a number and you don't top it up or put any money on it, then they just deactivate it. So the number was deactivated. Someone else might have it. So you might just be sending, push up Paul has just been sending like article after article to some random number.
They do get reassigned. I've had that before. People message you and I think this number's just been reassigned, isn't it?
So do not text 07470 184
Yeah.
Until further notice.
Yeah, like I was trying to find what it was he was telling me about. I can't remember. He spoke to me a bit, mugged me off for not saying hello, what's up, Stick Nation at the start of the video, which I looked up and I don't think I did. I found the video and I didn't say it.
Okay, you probably won't. Stick Nation were mentioned on BBC Radio 2 the other day.
Wow.
And I was just sitting there. Usually the radio's on. I don't pay attention to it. Rosie puts it on, and then it was on like the news section or something, and they were like, "Do you like sticks? Sticks are there's an Instagram page going crazy about sticks," and they played like a little compilation of people going, "What's up, Stick Nation?" I was like, nice.
Someone actually
early days.
Multiple people have sent me locks and latches, like
the page.
A couple of people did it, like not knowing. I think you were like this, and I do actually already follow.
Yeah, another page that's going wild right now.
Yeah, locks and latches is good.
All right, well, thanks for telling us all about lucid dreams, Rob.
That's right. I'm gonna have some more. I'm gonna get into it. Actually, since that one I haven't tried again yet because I just thought I had a terrible night's sleep. I thought I can't be asked to do that anymore.
But I have a feeling that tonight I might have one because we've been talking about it so much.
Yeah.
I'm willing it into being. I'm going to put my mouth tape on.
Well, do the mantra. Do the mantra before bed.
The mantra.
The next time I'm dreaming, I'm going to remember that I'm dreaming.
Okay. I'll do that before I go to bed. Put my tape on. I wonder if I have a lucid dream with mouth tape on, will I have mouth tape on in my lucid dream?
No, probably not. And that could be a good way that you know that you're dreaming. Because you won't have mouth tape on. You're like, well, I know I've got mouth tape on right now in real life.
Yeah. I had the opposite
that's a good little
reality other morning. Test. I woke up thinking I had mouth tape on, but I didn't. But my mouth must have been very like gunky and like glue and like my lips were like stuck together, like when like I guess all your saliva gets all dried up, and my lips were literally like proper stuck together. I woke up and I couldn't open my mouth, and I thought, it's because I got the mouth tape on. So I like kept my lips closed, and I like went to peel it off, and I was like, I've just got my mouth closed.
Excellent.
Dangerous stuff.
Dangerous stuff.
Yeah, please use responsibly.
All right, nice one.
That was Curio, episode 118.